Okay, so here I am at the Belgrade Waterfront, and this is one of my favorite places in Belgrade to walk around, to just go through. If it's not my favorite place, like being very number one on my list, this is such a high-end development that has been constructed, currently being constructed, literally costing billions upon billions of dollars, and it is all being financed by Eagle Hills' Mohamed Alabbar. Alabbar actually owned the Burj Khalifa. You can see behind me how some buildings right now currently being constructed. These are all going to be luxury homes, luxury condos, and they're really trying to make it such a high-end area. And you know, there are some people that are thinking like, oh, maybe this can become like the Dubai of the Balkans. It is extremely controversial because a lot of these apartments, to outright buy them, are going to be costing anywhere between like 300,000 euros to 3 million plus euros. And okay, if you were in Paris or London, like that would be like, okay, that definitely makes sense. But where are you going to get that in Belgrade to be able to necessarily to fill all these apartments? There's a lot of concern that a lot of the luxury apartments are just going to be vacant, that they're not going to be able to sell them. Also, it completely messes with how things look in Belgrade, because a lot of things are, I don't want to say rustic, but you have like the regular Yugoslav architecture, like the one that's over there, and then all of a sudden contrasting it with these massive glass buildings. Oh, and here, this huge building that you can see from literally anywhere in Belgrade. This is the St. Regis Hotel, and it is also a conference center. Look at this, what is it, 30 plus stories high? And then we're gonna go down there, and there is a huge mall. So there have been a lot of protests. Some people will say there might be like outright corruption, and some people think that there may be a lot of problems that come associated with this project. But nonetheless, I mean, the infrastructure that is being put in place here, it is unbelievable. And also, just to be right along the water, I mean, that is why I love to be able to do this, because sure, there's the walk along the Danube by Kalemegdan, which, don't get me wrong, that is incredibly nice, but this one's my favorite one, going up alongside the Sava, seeing New Belgrade going right across. So when you're here, you're definitely just gonna need to take a walk down here. I know in these clips it doesn't look that crowded. Also, I mean, it's just the time of year. I mean, you could see how I'm wearing a hat and a rather heavy jacket, but picture it on weekends, potentially during the summertime. Oh, it is packed non-stop. Also, just sit down on one of these benches. You see that are like right behind me, one of these chairs, and just relax up on the water. You know, that's what I'm going to do right now. Oh, there's also a bike path too for you to go bike right alongside this. Okay, so let's check out the Belgrade Waterfront Mall. So you're going to be walking up alongside here, and you will see there are like 14 different restaurants that are within this mall, and then you also have a food court up on the 3rd floor as well. So many different options to eat, but you should definitely consider eating at one of these restaurants on the outside for a lovely view. So many different types, going from Italian to Japanese to just regular Serbian cuisines. All the restaurants here are very high-end, so you're going to be paying a lot, but that makes sense. I mean, we are in the luxury part of Belgrade. In addition to the restaurants, you have a lot of cafes and just ice cream shops here, but of course, because it is one of the most influential malls in the entirety of the Balkan region, you have so many of the designer stores. It is one of the nicest malls that I have been in anywhere in the world, like legitimately. This seriously rivals a lot of the malls in America, and yeah, it's so much better than a lot of the ones I've been in. But I'm not going to talk about too much about the mall. I mean, you see for yourselves in these clips just how nice it is. So yeah, when you're in Belgrade, you have to come check this place out. And this is incredible. They have like this little pavilion area that they set up within all of these buildings right here, that I assume, depending on the type of year, they're going to set up these different festivals. So final thing about the waterfront is it's a great spot to come walk alongside, come into the mall, and it is a project that is very interesting how it's going to continue to develop in Belgrade over these next like 4, 5, even looking at like 20, 30 years from now. So how these project by Alabbar, Eagle Hills, how it develops is something I'm going to keep my eye on. When I first arrived in Belgrade, I was told, are you going to check out the controversial mall? I had no idea why it was controversial. Well, it just has to do with the fact that this entire project by Alabbar, the Belgrade Waterfront, very controversial in the city. So, people don't necessarily have a problem with a mall like this being built. There's another incredible mall, the Ušće Mall, which is on the opposite side of the Sava River in New Belgrade, which is very nice. But like here, people don't like this mall because it's just associated with all of this.